Hey guys, welcome back to another Car Mechanics Simulator video, and today is episode 3 of the Saline S302 project, building up a 2005 Saline S302 to its former condition. So last episode, we took apart the bored-out 4.6 to 5-liter engine used in the S302. We replaced a majority of its components with repaired components, but sadly, a lot of the parts didn't go that way. I need to buy 8 cylinders for this engine and 8 cylinders for the other engine that we're using in the GT500 over there, which will be, that series will be started once the S302 is done. I may build that engine off camera for the GT500, so it can just be a complete swap in and we'll be ready to go. But anyway, this episode we'll be finishing up putting this engine back together. So I've got quite a few things to deal with. We do have a brand new power steering pump that's going to go in. It looks like mostly the pumps are in good shape. But now we are in need of 8 pistons and are with con rods, and we need to get a oil filter and fuel filter to continue this. So this is probably the most expensive project I've done with one of these cars. The RX-7 project was so much cheaper. We got to get a oil filter for a V8 and a fuel filter for a V8. Fuel filter. I couldn't see it, so we're just going to go ahead pick one of these bad boys up. Now we need to go to pistons and pick out 8 with con rods. So they have the overhead valve engines, but this is a dual overhead cam motor. So we got 8 of these pistons with con rods. That was $5,000 just there on engine components. That's nuts. Okay, so we got a new oil filter, a new fuel filter, and now we're gonna get into putting in the new pistons. I need to get new piston rings apparently, so I need to deal with that, and we're gonna get new rod caps, so we need piston rings. We'll need 8 of those as well. I didn't think of those, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up new rod caps as well, or not, whatever. That may not be the name of the part. Anyway, so we got new piston rings, new pistons. Yes, I want to install both. There we go. Shiny new pistons. Alright, so basically right now we're just putting the pistons in the car, making sure we have everything ready. This car is going to be in really, really good shape once she's done. The whole process of building this car has actually been kind of a mess. This car has been kind of difficult to work on because of how many parts there are in this engine that could fail or that have failed in this specific model. Luckily, since this game isn't like, you won't ever run into that issue. Oh, they came with new rod caps. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and tighten these on. Or we'll do the rod caps first, and then we'll deal with the crank bearings last. Okay, we got rod cap. Also going to go ahead and hopefully have the engine about ready to go in the car. We'll have it filled with oil and everything, so she'll be basically ready to go in the car, but we're not going to install this engine in until the final episode in the series, because quite frankly I want this motor to be ready. You know, I want this car to be all cleaned up first before I throw in this really expensive motor, because it costs probably close to, what was it, about, in total I would say about $8,000 probably in the game to rebuild this motor. It's kind of expensive. If you're new to the game and this is your only project you have going on, it's an expensive build. Not really the most fun to put together. Okay, got the oil pan tightened back down. So we basically got the majority of we've got the bottom end of the block finished. We've got our clutch assembly in. This engine is ready to be flipped back over. Flip back up top here. So now we're able to go ahead and get started on assembling the top end, which is what we'll be doing now. So we've got fresh engine heads going in, hopefully fresh cams. A lot of the parts on this motor were successfully repaired, so that's awesome. that it saves me some money and having to go and buy new engine components, because building an engine from scratch is not cheap, especially when you don't know half the time what parts are required for that motor. We're gonna go ahead and we need cam gears as well as a supercharger intake manifold. So there's still some parts we need for this motor, which is kind of annoying. We need cam gears and a supercharger intake manifold. What about the exhaust manifolds? Are our headers good? We have good headers. Awesome news. Again, money I don't have to spend. I think, okay, we're not missing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to put the spark plugs in, if you're all fried. So I need 8 spark plugs, a supercharger intake manifold, and 4 cam gears. So we're going to go ahead and deal with that. Cam gears. No, nothing. Camshaft. I'm in need of cam gears. Cam. Okay, here we go. Cam gears. Okay, V6, inline 6. Nothing specifically for the V8, apparently. This is a dual overhead cam motor, so we'll need 4. Supercharger. We're gonna go ahead and just pick up a new blower altogether, just to save time. And we're gonna buy an intake manifold as well as okay, that's for the overhead valve motor. About bought the wrong part. We're gonna go ahead and just replace all the supercharger components because I highly doubt those will be repaired. I did just remember I didn't buy spark plugs, so I gotta deal with that as well. That was quite expensive to do. My goodness. Spark plugs. I'm definitely gonna have to sell some cars when we're done with this. I'm not looking forward to that because I've got quite a few parts that quite a few cars that I really like. $48 for 8 of these little fellers. Okay, so ready to go ahead and continue reassembly of the block. We're gonna go ahead and put in our new intake manifold as well as our new cam gears. I'm gonna have to go through this all again whenever I put together the GT500 engine, which I'm not looking forward to, because this motor was a pain in the butt to fix. So obviously I was right on the supercharger not being fixed, so I'm glad I bought a new blower. Okay, so now we've got the mechanics we need for the rest of this engine to be set up. Okay, so I'm still in need of installing the spark plugs. We're gonna go ahead and check the timing belts. I highly doubt they got repaired. They did not. Okay, so I need to get timing belts for the car. Okay, timing belt V8. I need 2 of these guys. Hopefully these are the right ones. I'm going to be really irritated. Alright, I did. Cool. Okay, so we got 1 and 2. I'm going to go ahead and install our fresh timing cover. And then hopefully we'll get ready to install my fuel rails, which, they're already on. The fuel rails are already installed. I'm going to go ahead and put in new spark plugs. All 8 of them. Alright, so now we are ready to go ahead and install our engine cover and get ready to install the ignition coils back on as well. Let's see how, okay, so I need 8 ignition coils as well now. So this engine's coming together pretty nicely, I might add, which is really, really nice. I'm going to go ahead and mount in these next 4 spark plugs. Okay, so we got the last of the spark plugs in. We're going to go ahead and put on the engine cover as well. And then we got to put it in the other set of headers, because I just realized the other headers aren't on the car yet. We're going to go ahead and put those in. Right, so I need to get 8 ignition coils now. And then, well, this engine will basically be finished, minus all the idler rollers and stuff, which hopefully got fixed. What was it I needed? Ignition coils. Okay. Need 8 of these guys. $480. That is not cheap. Alright, so basically once we get these ignition coils in, this motor will practically be done, minus all like the accessories, like the pulleys for the supercharger and the idler rollers, all like 6 of them. It's a lot of idler rollers, to be honest. Like, I don't think my real life 4-liter has that much. Oh, I forgot to put the coil cover on. Alright, fresh coil covers as well. So now basically we just have all the pulleys and this motor is finished, which is awesome because this has been an expensive build. I started this episode like 200 and something thousand, and now I'm down to almost 189. Probably set to go down even more with as much idler rollers as we need. So we got fresh water pump, awesome, as well as a water pump pulley. Need to replace that, so that sucks. All of my idler rollers are shot. Yep, every single one. So I need a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was stupid. Okay, so I need how many of either roller B? So I need at least a crank. No, the crank pulley shot. Gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 idler roller B's and then idler roller A. Idler roller. So 1 idler roller A, no biggie. It's kind of cheap. And then 5 idler roller B. We need a water pump pulley. If I could type today, that'd be great. Water pump pulley. Water pump pulley. Alright. Crankshaft pulley as well for our V8 motor. Okay, so we've got hopefully the last of the parts we need for this motor, and then she'll be ready to rock. Okay, we got our crank pulley. Bolt that in, be set. We got the first of our idler rollers to go in. We've also got our water pump pulley. We've also got other idler rollers. Okay, so after this point, we should just be able to put all the belts on, and this engine is ready to turn over. We'll have to fill it with oil. As it didn't have oil in the first episode, and I managed to start it with that oil in it, so that's why it sounded like garbage. So I'm glad we rebuilt this motor. Okay, so that should be the last of our pulleys. So we got our supercharger serpentine, and then last but not least, our serpentine belt A, which is fried. We're just going to type in belt, because so we need serpentine belt A for a V8. The overhead valve, that's B. So if there's a B, I'm going to go ahead and buy B as well, because I don't know what I'm going to need, and just to be safe. Serpentine belt A, inline 3, inline 4, inline 6, inline 6, V6, V8 overhead valve, and V8. Okay, so now we should be able to go ahead and finish our 5-liter modular V8. Oh, I still need to put the power stream pump in. Okay, so we got serpentine belt A. We got another idler roller and a belt tensioner that I still need to replace. Okay. Belt tensioner, that's right there, handily enough. And then idler. We got idler roller A. So we need another idler roller A. Okay, this has been a long episode, I can already feel it. Also missing a part on top of the engine, so I'll go ahead and check that out here in a second. We got our belt tensioner on, and then finally our idler roller A. I think that's the throttle body I'm missing actually up there that I see. And luckily you get repaired, so we've got a fresh throttle body. Alright, well this motor is done. We have our completely finished 5-liter modular V8s done. So that'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.
We don't want drama, we just want commas. My team tryna eat, I'm thinking Benihana. Love or hate me, all that shit just made me stronger. We the new school, this the alma mater. We don't want drama, we don't want drama. We just want the commas, we just want the commas.